Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm sick, but it's grind season, so I'm gonna give y'all a video anyway. So, if I had a low credit score, what would I do to go ahead and try and fix it quickly? So, first thing I would do is get a copy of my consumer report. You can, all three of them. You can do this by going to annualcreditreports.com and get all three of them. They usually give you one a year for free, but due to COVID, you can get once weekly. One credit report, one consumer report from each weekly. That way has never really worked for me. I always get an error on one of them, or last time I did it, I got an error on all three. So you can also use Credit Karma and get your Equifax and your TransUnion. It'll give you your score and the reports, and that's a free method. Then go to Experian.com and get your Experian score and the reports. It's free as well. So I use a credit monitoring service called Smart Credit. It's worked for me. I've heard there's a lot of good ones. IQ Identity or something like that. Credit Hero Score. I feel like there's a lot of good ones out there. You just gotta find what works for you. If you want Smart Credit, I'll leave a link in the description of this video, and you can help your boy. You can give me like $5 every time you pay your bill. But yeah, anyway, so I use Smart Credit, right? Smart Credit, it helps me line up all three of my consumer reports right next to each other and show account by account by account, right side by side. So it works really good for me. But just print out your consumer reports, or you can email all three agencies and ask them for the report, and they'll send you a consumer report. They won't send you the score unless you pay for it, but they'll send you a report. So now you got all three of your reports. What are you doing, girl? Excuse me. Sorry, y'all, I'm on daddy mode too. But anyway, so now you got all three of your reports, right? So you got all three of your reports. Line them up side by side. If you got a credit monitoring service, they should be side by side already. So once you looking at your report, go to say Mediacom, right? Say you got Mediacom as an account that's negative. No, before I even do that, I'm going to check my utilization rate. Because some people, y'all might not need to dispute items on your consumer report. It might just be your utilization is super high for months and months and months, and it's really impacting your score. So look at your utilization. Go to your credit cards and see what your utilization rate is. Utilization is pretty much, so if you got a Capital One credit card and it said you got $1,000 a limit and you use all $1,000, you had 100% utilization. If you use $900 of them dollars, you at 90% utilization until you pay it down. So you don't never want high utilization to report to the consumer reporting agencies, because it's part of the determination factor for your score. So I'm looking at my utilization rate. It makes up 30% or 165 of the 550 points you got. So I'm looking at my utilization. I'm looking at my credit cards. If your utilization is high, then you need to go ahead and just pay your utilization down as much as you can. You want it 10% or lower monthly. You want it at 10% or lower. So, for example, say your utilization, the report date is your statement date. It's the date that they give you your statement on. So say my statement date is on the 2nd, right? My bill is due on the 27th. So I use this in one of my videos. So I pay my bill on the 25th, so it can clear by the 27th. Bam, it's clear. Now on the 28th, I go ahead and max out my card because I don't have a bill again to the next month. And I want to go shopping. So I want to max out my card. On the 2nd, it's going to report to the consumer reporting agencies that you got a maxed out card, that you had 100% utilization. So it's going to drop you, if that's your only card, we're using that for this example, like you only got one card. So it's going to drop you up to 165 points on your consumer report. You only get 550 to work with. So that's a pretty big drop. That's under 700 already. So you like, dang, I don't know why my credit score is so low. I pay my bill on time every time. I paid it in full before the due date. It don't matter. You had a debt on the utilization. On the report date. So your utilization is going to go up. Y'all need to just make sure you had that debt paid to zero if you can, but definitely under 10% by that report date. And that'll boost your score 80 points, 60, 80 points, just depending on your utilization rate. But that can boost your score a lot in 30 days, less than 30 days, whenever that report date happens. So But say it's not my utilization rate. Say I got some negative items on my consumer report that I want to have them removed, or I just want to have them fixed, or whatever the case may be, because they report inaccurate information. So now I'm lining up my consumer reports, all three of them: Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. Excuse me. I'm lining all three of them up, right? So I'm going to that MediaCom account. I'm making sure everything match up, the account number, the open date. Say the open date has January 5th for Experian, but on Equifax and TransUnion it got August 5th. It's inaccurate. I'm highlighting them. Everything has to be 100% accurate and 100% complete according to 15 USC 1681I, which is the procedure in cases of accuracy, right? So anything that don't match up, it can be, I'm even marking remarks. If my remarks don't match up, I'm highlighting them things. If one account don't have that account on it, so TransUnion got MediaCom, Equifax don't have MediaCom, Experian has MediaCom, I'm highlighting them because everything has to be 100% complete. Now, once I got all my negative items highlighted, I'm creating my dispute letter. Your dispute letter is your first one. Start off with something simple. Hey, I obtained a copy of my consumer report from blah, blah, blah. You ain't even got to put that. But I noticed some things that I wanted to have reinvestigated. Excuse me. But yeah, I noticed some things that I wanted to have reinvestigated. Put the account name, the account number, the reason you want to have it investigated, and what you want them to do once they investigate it. Remove the account, update the account, whatever it be, right? Then at the bottom paragraph, you ain't got to even put this, but I put, according to 15 USC 1681I, which is the procedure in case of disputed accuracy, you have 30 days to respond to my request. Sincerely, your name. Sign it. I'm going to put my highlighted consumer report in that same packet. I'm going to put a copy of my ID, a copy of a utility bill that's current, and I'm going to put a copy of my social security card in there too. I'm going to go to the post office. I'm going to mail all my different letters off. So if TransUnion was on the Experian, TransUnion was on the Experian, but MediaCom was on the TransUnion, then you don't have to send MediaCom in that letter. You only put that one in the letter of the one that is inaccurate on, right? But anyway, so I got all my evidence inside my letter. I'm going to the post office. I'm sending it off certified. That way I can get a shipping number, a tracking number. Because according to 15 USC 1681I, the procedure in case of disputed accuracy, they have 30 days to respond to you. Unless you send additional evidence, then that gives them an additional 15 days, right? But you send in everything at once. So they get them 30 days, because once they receive it, they send it straight to the furnisher. The furnisher do their due diligence, and then they send it back to the consumer reporting agencies. Then they have to respond back to you. That's all in 30 days. Even more, they got even more steps when you trying to get to the original creditor. The original creditor for the purposes of this video, right? So now they respond with verified. So they respond with verify, right? So now I want the method of verification. So my next letter is going to be a method of verification letter. All right. Go to that log in. No, it's not in that one. I'll put it in the comments in the description, but it's 15 USC 1681 something is in a fair credit, and it tells you the method of verification, what you can ask for. No, it is in 1681I, procedure in case of disputed accuracy. So now you want the method of verification. You're asking for the name and the address of who they spoke to, all this type of information, right? So then I get my method of verification, my highlighted consumer report again, an updated one, and my identification and everything. I'm sending it every time. Some people say you only got to send it the first time. I send it every time. So I'm sending all my identification and everything, and then I send their response that they gave me, and I'm sending it back to them, right? So they send another one back and say verified again. So, all right, cool. Now I'm going to the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I'm going to their website, cfpb.gov or consumerfinance.gov, and I'm filing a complaint. In my complaint, I'm gonna put all my grief in there. I'm gonna tell them that I've sent these notices to them and they're still violating my rights under the FCRA. So I'm sending all that, and then I'm gonna put the account name and the account number in there, and then at the bottom, the next little block, I'm gonna put that I want the account removed or updated, depending on what you want. Then I'm gonna add my ID and I'm gonna send that off, right? That method. Then if they still talk about it's verified through the CFPB, then I'm gonna get all my evidence, gather it, then go talk to a consumer lawyer, because we about to sue their ass. All right. So go all the way back again. So say they respond with it's frivolous or irrelevant, saying that they didn't think it was you asking for the request or whatever, asking for the reinvestigation, because Experian good for that shit. But Experian will definitely do that to you. So if they say that, or if they say they didn't think you provided enough identification, even though you know you did provide all the identification you need, I just go straight to the CFPB. I don't even send them a second letter. I go straight to the CFPB, start my complaint, add what I'm complaining about, and then the second block, tell them what I want them to do. Then I am submitting that complaint, right? But before I submit that complaint, I'm adding all my evidence. I'm adding my letter that I highlighted. I'm adding the letter I sent them and their response back to me, right? And any other evidence that I have, I'm adding my evidence. In that last step too, don't forget to add your evidence, because you're gonna need to add your evidence. In that last step, you're gonna add both letters you sent off and then both responses they sent you back. You're gonna add your highlighted consumer report and any other evidence that you have, right? So then I submitted that CFPB because they talking about I'm frivolous or irrelevant. So now we're gonna get the ball rolling. 9 out of 10 times, the consumer reporting agency gonna start your reinvestigation for what you were disputing. And if they don't, then file another CFPB. If they do the same thing again, then go talk to a consumer lawyer, right? Then sue their ass, because these are all civil law. Damn, I can't think of what it's called right now. But these are all violations to the consumer report, to your consumer report, which is a violation under FCRA, and you can sue them, civil liability. I can't think of what it's called in the FCRA right now. My mind's scrambled. But anyways, I'll put it in the description. So then once you do that, then so now say they don't respond, right, to your first letter that you sent off. So if they don't respond, just send them another letter telling them that they are supposed to respond under the Fair Credit Reporting Act and that same code that I keep giving y'all, 15 U.S.C. 1681I. They're supposed to respond due to that. Now they're in violation. You demand that this account gets deleted, blah, 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 and all that stuff that you're going to put in your letter, right? So then they're going to respond back to you 9 out of 10 times. But if they don't, take that straight to the CFPB and do the same steps. Come submit a complaint, fill out your complaint, first block, tell them what you want to do, second block, add your evidence, your highlighted letter, the letters you sent them. It won't be no responses because they didn't respond to you, but say all that in your first block, right? 9 out of 10 times, it's going to start your reinvestigation. But if it don't, then go to a consumer lawyer and sue their ass, right? So that's what I would do to get my score higher if my score was lower than 700 right now. Even if it's lower than 700, if I got negative items on there, that's what I would be doing. First, if it's lower than 700, I'll be looking at my utilization rate, trying to see what the heck is going on. You know, yeah, that's what I would do. I would look at my utilization rate first, and then I'm going to dispute anything that's negative on my consumer report, trying to get it removed or trying to get it updated with the correct information. I hope this video was informative for y'all. I'm sorry I'm a little under the weather. I ain't sorry to y'all, but I'm sorry for myself because I feel like shit. But I hope that helped y'all. Holla at your boy. Peace.